Hello, and welcome to part 16 of Gender Playground. I swear at this point this just needs to be a mini-series. Okay, so the next gender is cass gender, C-A-S-S gender. Feeling as if the very concept of gender is unimportant to you. Just gonna be perfectly honest. If it's unimportant to you, then why does it matter that you have a label for it? Why does it matter? I think you're just flat under cisgendered. You don't get to be some special person because just because you want a label, but you don't really care. You know, it's like you're just cisgender. That's just how it is. And with the cass flux, I mean, like, if we're going off of the first part of the word, I guess, you know, cass gender and then cass flux, I mean, wouldn't that make more sense of, like, describing it as how you value gender kind of fluctuates a little bit? I still don't 100% think that's accurate. I still think if you're that way, you're probably cisgendered. Like, if gender isn't that important to you, why do you care? Like, why do you care so much that there's a label for you? Seriously. Imagine someone like being like, I'm gonna come out as cass gender. Okay, next gender, cavagender. C-A-V-E-A gender. Having a trapped or imprisoned gender. I guess that can be a gender experience. I feel like that's a lot of what people who are trans probably feel a lot before they realize they're trans. Or something like that. Anyhow, I'm gonna shut up and go to the next gender. Canvus gender. C-A-V-U-S gender. For people with depression. With people with depression, you feel one gender when not depressed and another when depressed. The gender felt whilst depressed can be attached to as a suffix, cavu boy, cavu girl, cavuish non-binary, cavuous ace. Oh my god. Okay, one, if you have depression, you need to go get help. I mean, like, not everyone works, and in fact, you know, I mean, it hasn't really worked much for me. I mean, I think one of the bigger factors that helped was realizing my gender, and then also having a couple of friends help me out a little bit. I feel like I'm kind of pushing them away though now. Gosh, now this is gonna make me depressed. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, like, it's just like, no, depression is not an influence on your gender. Like I said, it's just, if you are this, go get help, because if you have depression, you just generally need help anyways. Therefore, go get help. And, you know, if you want to come to a conclusion later, then that's fine. We can talk about it later. But, seriously, go get help. Gosh. Okay, next up is sendgender. S-E-N-D gender. When your gender changes between one gender and its polar opposite, or a gender that can be summed up as unidentifiable thing which manifests as hundreds of different genders, or so this is already claiming there's hundreds of different genders, or none at all at any time, at any given time, at the same time, and or separately, fluid or ever changing. That is gender fluid. Like that's strongly gender fluid. That's basically exactly gender fluid. What part is not gender fluid? Oh yeah, that's right. The fact that's saying that there are hundreds of genders, and there are most definitely not hundreds of genders. Unless you want to get in gritty nitty detail and be a stuck-up prick like that, then okay, we can have all the genders you want. Next gender, Cenned, gendered. C-E-N-N-E-D, gender. A gender identify heavily influenced by one's parents